make way for Reggie Miller, NBA Hall of Famer. He did Pelicans Suns last night, and on the call for Game 6 in New Orleans. That'll be tomorrow night, 7:30 Eastern on TNT. Reg, good to have you back. Is there any chance that Zion could play tomorrow night?
No.
Okay.
Look, I've been calling and clamoring for it, but you see him in warm-ups, and he looks overweight. But some of the moves he is making in his warm-ups, oh, my goodness. And that's why I keep yelling to the rooftops, if you can go through your legs 2 times and reverse 360 jam, you can give me 15 minutes, Theodore. You can give me 15 minutes. But I think the Pelicans are going to err on the side of caution, and they are in such a rhythm right now with the nucleus that has gotten them to this point. I don't think they want to kind of mess up the apple cart.
Do you think he wants to play and they don't want him to play?
I think if I'm sitting over there and I'm Zion Williamson and I feel I could help this team, sure, any player wants to feel that they could be out there to, help their squad out.
This feels like the opposite of the Nets with Ben Simmons.
I don't know. I look, it's hard for me. People always ask me now. I've been retired 15 plus years. Do I miss the game? And usually I tell them during the regular season, not so much because of the travel and the day-to-day wear and tear. What I miss the most about NBA is now the playoffs, and to see some of our young stars not want to be a part of it. And now, again, I know injuries are a part of it, and I'm not saying Zion does not want to be a part of it. But this is the best time of the year because you're going against the best, and it's the adjustments and the everyday stress is what I missed about the playoffs, the adjustments, and just hand-to-hand, head-to-head mental challenge battle. And I'm sure if Zion could play, if was allowed to play, he would be out there. But just looking at his body, he doesn't look like he's 100% in shape. And when you get to this level of the playoffs, you've got to be all in.
Well, you did say this about Ben Simmons. Out for Game 4, this dude has zero competitive fire. He did say that he wasn't going to play in Game 3. There was a chance he was going to play in Game 4. I just don't know what it is. If it is, that there's something deeper to this, I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to be sensitive to it. But after a while, you're like, look, if you think you can play, then this isn't mental. This is about physical. And what treatment are you getting? It just feels like it's fair game to be able to ask him some of these things because he keeps hinting. And somebody's leaking this information to the media saying, hey, you know what? He's been pain-free for 10 days, been working out. He could play and get, I'm baffled at what happened this entire year with Ben Simmons.
The Nets easily could have won Game 1. Easily could have won Game 2. They come back home down love 2. And as a former basketball player, and during my time, I wouldn't say bad ankles, but I would twist my ankles from time to time, and being able to play through that pain. Case in point against MJ during the conference finals, at some point, and, for him to say, I'm not going to play Game 3, but I could play Game 4. If you could play Game 4, you could play Game 3, when your team needs you the most. So you let that slide. Then when you go down 3-0, you can't come back and say, my back is hurting, I had a misstep. The optics of it just looks bad. You can't hint of coming back and then all of a sudden be put back on the shelf. That was the whole point I was making because they need you. And as slim of a chance as it was, they were never going to come back and win that series. But you still do have Kevin Durant and a Kyrie. And if you win one game, you don't know, someone could twist the ankle in Boston, and they be down one guy. It's possible, not likely, but it was possible. but go out there for 15, 18 minutes. Give your fan base something to look forward to for next season. But to totally shelf it, and that's what you've done all season long, I think that's what frustrates people. So that's why I say the competitive fight, you've got to have you have to have it. And number two, your team has got to feel like they can trust you.
Do you think he plays for the net? Do you think he wants to play? Like next year? What happens in the offseason where all of a sudden he's ready to go and he's a different player?
I guess we'll see next October now, won't we?
Yeah.
I mean, he won't play in the summer league. They won't risk that. So we'll just have to wait till next October.
It's crazy.
But if you're the Nets, don't you have to wait and see what this looks like with Kevin Durant and Kyrie and Ben Simmons? I mean, you made the trade. If not, you basically gave James Harden away, which at this point, I mean, James is not looking great, but at least he's playing and he's capable.
Man, I would have him play in this summer league, Reg. I like at some point I got to have him out there.
There is no way they're going to risk him playing in the summer league because if he plays in the summer league against G League and rookies and he gets shown up, that fan base will go crazy. They can't risk him looking bad or not looking up to par after having all this time off. They are not going to risk him playing in a summer league game.
Talking to Reggie Miller, he'll be on the call. Game 6 tomorrow night, 7:30 Eastern on TNT. The Pelicans and the Suns. Booker is not going to be back for this series?
No, okay. He's done. And he very well could be done if they were to advance, the start of the next round. I mean, these things take 2 to 3 weeks, and we're coming up on Game 6 tomorrow.
Well, Luka was out for a while as well with the calf.
Hamstring and a calf strain, two different things.
Okay.
Two different things. But again, you never know. And we talk about competitive fire. Devin Booker has it. I think if it was up to Devin Booker, he probably would risk it. But he was out 2.5, 3 weeks on the right one. I believe he had in December or January. I think this one is the left one. So I think they're going to err on the side of caution. You don't win 32 games on the road, 32 games at home, 64 wins without having some hiccups. Both Chris Paul and Devin Booker at times have missed a chunk of time, and they didn't miss a beat. So I think that's what they're counting on, their experience, their finals experience from a year ago. And they are a deep team, and they're a bunch of role players that understand that. You just hope they're not taxing Chris Paul because last night going into halftime, he was absolutely gassed, and they're putting a lot on his plate, and that's why other guys like Mikal Bridges, who played great, playoff career-high 31 points, those kind of guys have to step up and play a significant role.
Ja Morant last night, the Grizzlies come back from 13 down, and he had a dunk heard around the NBA. Recency bias. Well, that's got to be the greatest playoff dunk of all time. It's not. It was impressive because it helped that team win a game. That's the most important thing out of this. You got a few all-time playoff dunks that you want to bring up?
I would say, was the Dr. J cuff over Michael Cooper, was that a playoff game or was that a regular season game?
I think that was playoffs. That would have been finals.
That's one of them. I'm trying to think of another all-time dunk in a game. I'm sure Michael has a few.
Scotty over Ewing?
Oh, yeah, Scotty definitely over Ewing. Then throwing him down, walking over them, walking over to Spike Lee, telling him to sit his – yeah, that's classic. That whole – I kind of like that one. That's a good one.
John Starks dunking on the Bulls in the playoffs, the left-handed.
Yes, left-handed.
KJ dunking on Olajuwon, left-handed.
Very nice, yes.
But here's the other thing, Reg. When you dunk on somebody, there's somebody up there to greet you at the rim. Not, I'm going to stand here and take a charge. That's not dunking on somebody.
but it is, because if you look at where Ja took off.
All right, the dotted line.
Right?
All right.
And cocked it all the way back.
But the guy, nobody was guarding him up there. It was just he had to maneuver around Malik Beasley.
That is something, Theodore.
Oh.
You and I are talking. You and I are talking because we're experienced three-point shooters. We don't get to navigate way up there. You and I.
Well, you don't. That's
well,
why
you used to at Dayton.
That's why I still have I have a knee replacement, Reg. What, Paulie?
Dan, we're forgetting a dunk. Reggie Miller versus the Nets. Kenyon Martin, Jason Kidd. I think it was in overtime.
I dunked on the whole Nets team. And for the record, Paulie, I do have to say this. That was my last official in-game dunk ever. So that was the last time I ever dunked in a game, which I wish I would have saved it for that Detroit series when Tayshaun was coming from behind. I had nothing left in the tank. I had nothing left in the tank.
You still think about that, don't you?
Yeah, because it was a goaltend. Okay, wait, all right, okay, I'm not gonna. I can't go there because they didn't call it. Yes, I do think about it, Theodore.
What advice would you give? Okay, let me preface this by saying, I see Ja Morant at age 22 attacking the rim, and we've seen young players attacking the rim, and then they eventually, develop other skills. You either get hurt or you change, or you get hurt and change. Jordan stopped going to the hoop. Iverson stopped attacking. And Derrick Rose stopped attacking. What advice would you give Ja Morant, a 22-year-old Ja Morant, right now with his game?
I'm not going to tell him to stop at all. I love his aggressiveness. I think
you wouldn't worry about him getting hurt.
Over time, he will figure it out. I guess we could throw Dwayne Wade in there as well.
Yeah.
You don't want to take away a player's ability to think and to react on the fly. Look, all the guys that you just mentioned, Hall of Famers, they figured it out in time. Now, he missed, 25 games this year? And I think the way he approaches the game, I'm not going to put a saddle on a dude where his biggest attribute is being able to break down the defense. Now, learning how to fall, knowing how to roll, that will come in time. But I'm not going to say, dude, you need to start working on your jump shot because you're taking too many hits. No, because what he's doing, he gets the Grizzlies in the bonus early. He puts pressure on bigs. He gets guys in foul trouble. I am not going to try to put a saddle on a wild horse. I'll try to tame him the older he gets. But you be you, Ja, and continue to be great.
Can you help me understand what bus rider and bus driver and what the hell Charles Barkley and Kevin Durant are arguing about here, Reg?
Oh, my God. I think it changes every day, truthfully.
Do you consider, is Kevin Durant a bus driver or a bus rider?
Well, here's the thing, because it depends on what side.
Wait! You didn't answer that. Is he was he riding the bus or driving the bus with the Warriors?
Well, he was a Finals MVP back-to-back years.
Okay.
So to me, that's somewhat driving the bus.
Okay.
Where he could have been a rider is you joined the 73 and 19 to get those two rings.
Yeah.
That's what people on both sides of the fence will say if you're a Kevin Durant fan and if you're not. But, you don't get back-to-back finals MVP and average 35 points against LeBron James if you're not a bus driver.
Yeah, I thought Charles was a bus rider. He tried to join Houston with, those stars there, and he got out of Philly to go to Phoenix. So, there's part of that if you want to get real particular, he tried to bus ride to get a title in Houston.
True. But I think all those guys, when he was in Houston, were past their prime. Clyde, Hakeem, and Charles, and Scotty.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys were just trying to get together for one last hurrah.
See, you're
But
a
they
bus
were all
driver.
past their prime.
You never got on somebody else's bus. You were always driving the bus in Indiana for nearly 2 decades.
But maybe I should have been a bus rider because that's what all. See, it's funny because we knock Kevin Durant for being a bus rider, bus driver.
Yeah.
But the media says championship matters, championships. Reggie didn't win a championship. But so, we knock him from being a rider versus a driver. At the end of the day, media, which one is more important? Loyalty or championships or both?
Well, give me the team you almost went to. Was it Boston you were going to come back and play for that team that won the title?
Yeah, but that wasn't given. They weren't considered the favorites, but it was close.
But you would have won a title.
Yeah, in hindsight, but going into that season, did everyone be like, oh, they're going to win? It wasn't set that they were going to win a championship.
But if you knew that they were going to win a championship, would you have come back and played?
I couldn't do it because all the tears I shed in Indiana with that fan base, we cried together on all those those hurtful Knicks losses, Bulls losses, Lakers losses in the finals. It wouldn't be fair for me to be on a podium or a stage popping bub because I won my one championship. And in Indiana, we as a team, we grew up together. We had the heartaches together. I can't be sipping champagne and getting a ring, and I didn't do it for y'all. That's just my mentality. That's just my thinking.
All right, that's fair.
And I'm not saying it's right because, people on Twitter will go crazy that I didn't win a championship. Okay, I'm cool with that, but at least I went down swinging and fighting.
Would you
join
join another radio show if you could have a better chance to win?
Don't you think Colin Cowherd has been calling left and right for me to join his show? You think Skip Bayless?
No, Skip's not calling.
Don't always call me to come on?
No.
Absolutely. You think I'm going to jump ship to go on one of those shows when I'm on the premier show of all time?
All right.
I don't think so.
Yeah. But you know what? We haven't won anything, Reg. We're the
And
Pacers.
That's why we're in the same boat. We're when we win our first one, it's gonna be like we won 5 together.
We're the Indiana Pacers of sports talk radio.
But we're coming. We're coming for you, PTI, Wilbon, Kornheiser. We're coming for y'all.
Yeah, those punks. Reg will be on the call tomorrow night, 7:30 Eastern on TNT. The Pelicans and the Suns. Thank you, Reg. Safe travels.
Love you, Theodore, and I love my Danettes.
Take a break. Back after this.